On the positive side, we can use some of these technologies to spread God's word. That is the flip side, and it's a very important side. And I would encourage those of you at this conference to do the hard thinking that needs to be done and be involved in the technology, because there's a kind of Luddite attitude among some believers that say, oh, I wouldn't touch this. I like science, but I wouldn't touch AI. The contrary ought to be true. We need to have people in there for the Lord, bringing a Christian's ethical thinking to the table. You have the medical profession, which is one of the really good sides of it, developing new medicines, working out all the proteins. I mean, nobody ever thought that it would be possible to predict the folding of proteins. And Thomas Hasabi's got the Nobel Prize for solving the shapes of 200 million proteins. And they can be used to develop new medicines and all the rest of it. Diagnostics, now much better usually in all kinds of diseases than your local hospital. One of my vivid memories is of seeing a short clip of a missionary on horseback in Africa handing over a new translation of the scriptures into a new language. But think what a tool large language models have now given us for translating the Bible into new languages, reducing new languages into writing, translating the scriptures into those languages, and even down to the simple level of my own communication. I'm an English speaker. I speak German, I speak some French and some Russian, and that's where it ends, really. But I just did an interview for France, and I said, I'm not up to it in French. He said, it doesn't matter. We will produce this, and you will be seen speaking French in your voice. And AI will do that. And the opportunities are immense. I would say keep at it. I've heard a little bit about the things you've been doing. Missionary work in the 21st century is very complex. For example, in areas where it needs aircraft, mission, aviation fellowship, the logistical support that's needed, the support that's needed to service missionaries, to help them build buildings, to help them develop curricula for schools and education and everything else. And it seems to me there's a real boom happening through the investment of technology and mission. The key to it, ladies and gentlemen, is this: God puts different kinds of wealth together for his kingdom. Now you're sitting looking at me now, and clearly there's a lot of intellectual wealth in this room. But that gets you nowhere unless there are people with the financial worth and wealth prepared to back you up, so that your wealth and their wealth work together. The most beautiful example of this, two examples, one from the book of Acts, is how the gospel reached you via Europe, where a businesswoman from Turkey, she had more than one home. She'd opened a home in Philippi, as well as her home at Thyatira in Turkey, and got converted. And I'd love to have heard this conversation. She comes to Paul and she said, look, if you really think I'm a Christian, here's my home. Use it as your base. Her wealth and his intellectual and spiritual and moral wealth were put together. Europe and North America were reached with the gospel. That's how it works. And when it comes to the scriptures getting to the English-speaking world, William Tyndale translated the Bible and tried to get the Bishop of London to help him publish it. He wasn't interested. But there was a business chap called Humphrey Monmouth. Many of you may never have heard of him. I hope you have, because he heard of Tyndale and he said, I'll bankroll you. And that's how scriptures came pouring into London from Belgium, hidden under bales of cloth, because Monmouth was a cloth merchant just like Lydia was. Now you can be the AI tech merchants who are helping use the wealth of entrepreneurs and funds, trust funds and so on, to bring those two things together and to help reach the world for Christ. God bless you as you do it.